The current administration finds itself in a rapidly escalating quagmire as Iran flatly refuses to entertain any notion of a ceasefire with the United States. The military confrontation that President Donald Trump has initiated against Iran is quickly spiraling beyond anyone's control. While Trump attempts to project an image of unwavering strength, the international community is witnessing a leader who appears increasingly impotent and out of his depth. During a recent interview with Mary Bruce of ABC News, the president was questioned about potential domestic risks, concerns over American casualties, and the heightened possibility of terrorist attacks on U.S. soil orchestrated by Iran. His response was one of blatant indifference. Trump stated unequivocally that he is not worried about anything, dismissing concerns over the economic consequences of the conflict, including soaring gas prices. He characterized the situation as merely a little glitch, a necessary detour he claims to have anticipated all along. But the American public certainly did not sign up for this detour. Is this detour referring to an illegal war that has already claimed the lives of American service members, plunged the entire Middle East into chaos, and lacks any coherent strategy for withdrawal? In that same conversation, Trump left all options on the table, including the potential deployment of ground forces. There are even rumblings that he and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are contemplating sending special forces into Iran to seize enriched uranium. Trump further justified the aggression by claiming Iran was plotting to dominate the entire Middle East, a narrative that conveniently shifts yet again to suit the administration's needs. It is utterly deplorable that we are governed by a regime that fabricates falsehoods about virtually everything. Adding to the absurdity, Trump issued a demand that Iran must consult him before selecting its next supreme leader, or the new Ayatollah won't last long. The arrogance of insisting that he must personally choose Iran's religious leader is staggering. Iran has no intention of letting Donald Trump dictate its leadership. The visual reality of what is happening in Iran is apocalyptic. A phenomenon described as black rain is falling, a form of nuclear winter descending upon the nation as U.S. and Israeli forces relentlessly bomb Iranian oil depots. The ignited oil has filled the sewage systems, creating fires that rage everywhere. The scene is straight out of a nightmare, with Armageddon-like smoke clouds plunging the capital city of Tehran and its surrounding areas into an eerie, suffocating darkness. However, Iran is not absorbing these blows without response. They are retaliating with cluster munitions, ballistic missiles, and Shahed drones. The aftermath of these cluster bomb attacks is visible in Israel, particularly in Tel Aviv and neighboring cities, where significant damage has been inflicted. In a strategic move, after the Trump regime targeted Iranian desalination plants to cut off access to purified water, Iran responded by striking the desalination facilities in Bahrain. It is crucial to understand that while oil is often seen as the Middle East's most valuable resource, access to clean drinking water is the true linchpin of survival in the region. By striking at water purification, the U.S. has opened a dangerous new front, and Iran's retaliation against Bahrain shows just how quickly this could escalate into a catastrophic regional crisis. This is precisely why other Arab nations are desperately trying to avoid being dragged into this widening conflict. Despite the grim reality, Trump continues to project toughness. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister has made it clear that they see no benefit in a ceasefire, believing they currently hold the upper hand and intend to prolong the conflict. To sell this disastrous policy, Trump deploys his sycophantic ally, Lindsey Graham, onto the Sunday morning talk shows on state-run media. Graham's recent appearance was a chilling display of warmongering. He declared he has no interest in a fair fight, only in winning quickly and decisively. Sporting a Free Cuba hat, he ominously stated that the liberation of Cuba is imminent. Then, holding up a hat reading, "Make Iran Great Again," he parroted Trump's line that the only way for Iran to be great is for its people to overthrow its government. Graham painted a picture of America marching across the globe, cleansing the world of bad guys, and forging relationships that will bring unprecedented prosperity and safety. He absurdly compared Trump to Ronald Reagan, proclaiming him the greatest commander-in-chief of all time, leading the greatest military in history. His monologue concluded with a chilling prophecy: Iran is going down, and Cuba is next. This rhetoric of marching through the world, spreading death and destruction, should horrify every single American, regardless of political affiliation. It seems Graham is able to sell these wars to Trump simply by peddling merchandise. The sheer glee with which Graham discusses death and destruction is deeply disturbing. It's as if the prospect of war arouses him. War is a grave, serious matter, not a source of twisted excitement. In the same rant, Graham turned to the Arab nations, pointing out that they are also being hit. He demanded that if they want security treaties with the United States, they need to join the fight. He urged them to stop standing alone and get into the conflict. But what is the United States actually offering? The reputation of every Arab nation, from Qatar's vision for Doha to the UAE's gleaming Dubai and Abu Dhabi, has been dragged through the mud. As mentioned, Bahrain was hit, specifically its water supply. Kuwait's ability to produce and export gas has been effectively paralyzed. The CEO of Kuwait's Petroleum Corporation, Noal Sabah, confirmed that Iranian threats have functionally shut down shipping through the Strait of Hormuz for the first time in 80 years. Tankers have stopped transiting, even though the waterway isn't physically closed, and this is crippling entire economies. When markets reopen, the financial fallout is expected to be catastrophic. Watching Lindsey Graham on state-run media, vowing to bomb the hell out of Iran and promising mass death, one has to question the sanity of these individuals. He promised that in the next 2 weeks, the world will witness something. He threatened to bring the Iranian regime to its knees, claiming its destruction would usher in unprecedented peace and prosperity, a peace he insists cannot be achieved through dialogue. In response, Iran's foreign minister appeared on Meet the Press and was asked directly if Iran would accept a ceasefire. His answer was a firm and logical no. He explained that Iran had accepted a ceasefire in good faith previously, only to be attacked again. They exercised self-defense, stopped when the aggression stopped, yet it brought no lasting peace. Now, with renewed attacks killing their people, including schoolgirls, bombing hospitals, destroying water desalination plants and refineries, they see no point in another temporary truce. Unless there is a permanent end to the war, they feel compelled to continue fighting for the security of their people. Amidst all this, Fox News was caught in a blatant act of manipulation. During coverage of a dignified transfer of fallen American soldiers at Dover, they realized President Trump was wearing a $55 campaign hat he is selling, a disrespectful act he refused to take off. To hide this, Fox aired old footage from a different dignified transfer from Trump's first term where he wasn't wearing the hat. When caught, they issued a brief apology, acknowledging the mistake and honoring the 6 American heroes lost: Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicole Moore, Sergeant First Class Noah Tenz, Sergeant Declan Cody, Major Jeffrey O'Brien, and Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Marzison. This incident highlights the critical need for accurate media. This is why many rely on tools like ground news to cut through the bias and propaganda. For instance, when searching for news on the tragic story of a woman killed by ICE, different outlets presented entirely different versions of events. Ground News is an invaluable platform that aggregates thousands of articles from around the world, organizing them by story and color-coding the political bias of each source, left, center, or right. It allows users to filter for high factual reporting and see which outlets are independently owned versus those controlled by large conglomerates. Its blind spot feed is particularly useful, highlighting stories that are being disproportionately covered or ignored by either side of the political aisle. For those seeking a clearer, more objective understanding of complex events, Ground News offers a way to break out of the echo chamber. A significant discount is available for those who want to support independent analysis and get a fuller picture of the world. Returning to the propaganda, the interview with Iran's foreign minister on NBC's Meet the Press was equally troubling. The host asked him to respond to Trump's claim that Iran bombed its own elementary school. The absurdity of the question is staggering. Multiple independent investigations by Reuters, CNN, the New York Times, and even intelligence briefings to Congress have confirmed that the United States was responsible for that horrific strike, which killed over 150 children and 175 people total. The aerial footage makes it obvious. It is a crime against humanity. Yet the host pressed the Iranian minister for evidence that it was an American jet, as if the overwhelming consensus from global investigations wasn't enough. The effects of this war are rippling across the region. Iraqi oil output has plummeted by nearly 60% as the conflict blocks tankers. Qatar has effectively shut down its liquefied natural gas production. Kuwait's social security building lies in ruins after a direct Iranian strike. The cycle of retaliation, U.S. hits Iranian water, Iran hits Bahraini water, continues. Meanwhile, many Middle Eastern countries are trying to cover up the damage, viewing its documentation as disinformation. The United Arab Emirates, for example, is furious over Israeli leaks, claiming they are participating in offensive strikes against Iran. Senior Emirati officials have stated that such briefings from senior Israeli officials are damaging to the relationship and inappropriate as the UAE makes its own sovereign decisions. They have publicly denied carrying out strikes and insist their posture is purely defensive, not offensive. They do not want to be dragged into this war. As this chaos unfolds, Trump's chilling indifference remains. I don't care about anything. A leader should care about the troops, about life and death. The economic reality is setting in. Food, energy, airlines, transport, and insurance components of CPI and PPI are set to be slammed, potentially pushing headline inflation above 4% by spring. It is a horrible, disastrous situation. The world watches and waits, and updates will continue to be provided every step of the way.